Hey guys, so I'm going to explain the activity that you're going to be doing this week. Um, so most of the work you're going to be doing this week is just for this activity because it is pretty lengthy and it does build off of the work you've already been doing. So it's important to do things in order. So if you haven't done the previous activities, back up before you come here. What you're going to be doing is you're going to complete this activity in your notebook. There are 3 different steps. Well, mostly in your notebook. I'll explain. There are 3 different steps. In the first, you're going to brainstorm what I call search sentences. They're basically just like groups of words from the list you've already been creating of keywords. So figuring out ways, like if you've got like, I don't know, like documentary and news and this term and that term and a bunch of synonyms and all kinds of stuff, just grouping some words together and searching them to get at some different things. The most effective way I know to kind of practice this way of thinking or this habit of thinking with your research is to look at some of the research questions, the smaller ones you've come up with, and pull some keywords that are going to help you search those questions. So you're searching some different things and using some different words and getting different sources and information. So you're going to be doing that first. In the second step, you're going to use those keywords to access helpful sources for your research questions. So you're going to go to Google and look some stuff up, similar to what we did with the tertiary sources activity with either Wikipedia or CQ Researcher. In the third, you are going to start adding some potential sources to your annotated bibliography. You're welcome to start adding any sources you want to your annotated bibliography at this time. You've set up the document, you have your categories in. You're welcome to start adding like citation information or titles or whatever you need to start like, I guess, like in your own way, whatever works for you, like noting what sources are going to be there, what sources you want to come back to and annotate later. And you can add like what you think you might want to say about it, whatever helps. But the goal is within those categories, start thinking about what sources are going to be helpful, what can I kind of keep, and what category might they be in. So you can kind of start thinking about it that way. So your first step is to create some keywords for the research questions you've come up with so far. And again, like it depends. What I said was to come up with a few helpful search sentences, maybe 5 through 8 for the research questions you've come up with. So here's an example like from a previous student's work from the search sentences they did, and these might have gone with different research questions, but pharmaceutical regulation laws. FDA, medicine, regulation. This was a long time ago. So we've got Bernie Sanders, healthcare. So we've got very different terms that would bring you, like Bernie Sanders and healthcare would get you very different results than pharmaceutical regulation laws. So they're definitely looking at things with the like big pharma, and I think with this one they were looking at like over like diagnosing and prescribing. So we're definitely looking at, I mean, let's look at the next one. Health insurance and medications, Johnson and Johnson, prescription drugs. They were going to get into some lawsuits there that people have had for like over prescribing and advertising drugs and things like that. So again, you want to think about it this way and notice that these are like names, terms, maybe even like source types, laws. And you also want to note that these are doing like what I said, kind of, these are not doing the things that I said, like not to do with having the long sentences, like asking a full question and have fluffy words. Like these are just like bare bones search terms grouped together. So you can include like main terms, synonyms, specific names, pull from any of those things that we brainstormed, and then you have this example here. Step 2, you're going to pick 4 search sentences that are going to get at some different information that you've come up with. What you're going to record in your notebook, or what you're going to do, is Google each like search sentence and try to find at least one helpful source. So then I'm going to show you when it gets done thinking. A little kind of example. So here's the things you're actually going to list first for each sentence, or each question that you want to look at. So for each search you make, you're going to include the keyword group or the search sentence that you use to search that question. So the group of words that you use to search, the research question that corresponds, the name, and then for the source, the name and the title, a link to it, and any information or notes that you want to include in terms of like whether this might be helpful for a certain reason, or information like about the like issue or the question that it relates to that you want to keep. It does need to be in your own words. You can include like copied and pasted like quotes or information to keep later, but there should be something in your own words from that source also. So here's an example of search results that you might get. I'm actually going to zoom in on this picture, make it a little bit bigger, so you can see it, not zoom in, but pull up the image itself, and maybe there we go, make it a little bit bigger. So if I search standardized test, No Child Left Behind, here are some helpful sources. So again, like I could look up Wikipedia, I use Wikipedia to get some information, but we're kind of past that at this point. But you have like No Child Left Behind, the new rules, No Child Left Behind, what standardized test scores reveal. So I might have like a question I wanted to ask about like the relationship between standardized testing and No Child Left Behind, or what impact it had. And then so I'm going to record that question, these words that I used to look up, and then pick one or these two sources to record and make some notes about it. And that's essentially what you're doing. Down here I have like schools haunted by the ghost of No Child Left Behind. Like, and I kind of just added a note here. Like notice how bias and opinion are kind of built into this search anyway, right? Are standardized tests ensuring that no child is left behind? They're kind of asking that question in a gestural way, like they're probably going to try to reveal that it's not ensuring that no child is left behind. So you don't really have to actively search for negative perspectives or negative results, because you're going to come across it anyway. If you search for information, you're going to find opinions and comments and analysis on that information. It's just a better way. It's like flipping the script, so it's a more efficient way of coming at it. So you're getting the perspectives, but you're also getting the information itself too, because you're gonna come across it anyway. So again, like here's just kind of an example of some search results I might be able to get and kind of work with. I'm coming to this blank document, and I'm gonna assume this is like your notebook. So I might include like, how has No Child Left Behind impacted standardized testing? This might not be the greatest wording, but it's just for an example. Let's say the use standardized testing. And then my keywords might be, I'm going to go back to the example I just used. Standardized test, No Child Left Behind. So I'm just going to put the initialism there. So this would be the question, the keywords. I'm going to look it up real quick. Standardized test, testing, test, No Child Left Behind. Is going to do that for me anyway. And so I'm going to get, this one looks good. This is one of the ones that was in the example I just pulled up. It's from pbs.org. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to take this link, and the title is The New Rules. Come back to this document. Put space out the link there to it. Go back to the title. I'm going to pull up again here. It's called The New Rules Testing Our Schools. So that was the title. I forgot what it was again. The New Rules. The rest of the title, and then take some notes. And that's what you're doing for each one, just kind of a sample of the process. You have a research question you want to answer, you put in the keywords or group you came up with, you include the link to the source, the title of it, and then some notes about it, and then you might, copy and paste things you want to keep into your annotated bibliography when you're done, so that you have that, and we're already started hitting the ground running. And then one of the next couple things we'll start doing is doing some library activities beyond this to find some of those required sources. We'll be working on that very soon. Peace.